I can't believe we are already halfway through 2025. This has been such an incredible first 6 months of my reading journey. I can only hope that the next 6 months are as good, prayerfully even better than the first. So I'm going to get into the mid-year freakout tag. This is my second time doing it, and so I have been on YouTube for a little bit more than a year, and I am so looking forward to this. I love the tags, so let's get into it. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. Question number one: what is the best book I've read so far this year? So I have three books. It would be too hard to pick one book. The first one is Bent But Not Broken by Mary Monroe. Red Clay by Charles C.B. Francher. Charles Francher, can't remember the middle initial. And Zeal by Morgan Jerkins. These were all great books. I think Zeal was a debut novel, if I'm not mistaken, for Morgan Jerkins, and I believe also for Red Clay as well. But Mary Monroe, I have been reading her for years. And there's two things you can expect from Mary Monroe. One is somebody's gonna be unalived, and two, there are going to be plot twists after plot twists after plot twists. That lady can write. I love her books. Question number two: what's the best sequel you've read this year so far? Can you guess? The Art of Hood Love by Antoinette Sherrill. When I tell you that I fell in love with this series, oh my God, it was so good to me. I could not believe it. It made me feel like, why did I not read this when I first saw it? I saw it when it came out. I wanted to read it, got sidetracked as usual, and never got around to it. This past month, this is June. So in the month of June, I started reading new authors that I've never read before. And Antoinette Sherrill was one of those authors. And I just cannot believe that I never read any of her work. I am loving Antoinette Sherrill. So, yeah, The Art of Hood Love is my favorite series so far. Number three, what's the best new release I have? Excuse me, what's the new release I haven't read but want to? So I want to read The Unexpected Diva by Tiffany L. Warren and The Queen of Sugar Hill by Rashonda Tate. So I want to read it, but it has not pulled me in just yet. I am waiting for it to call me. That way I can answer. So I do want to read it, but I don't have like that real desire. And so I am kind of just waiting for it to pull me in. Number four. What's the most anticipated new release for the second half of the year? I don't really have an anticipated new release for the second half of the year. My anticipated new releases were at the beginning, and so they were like Happy Land, Zeal was one of them, and I'm sure there are some other ones. Oh, Junie. Junie was, I could not wait to read Junie. And all of the ones that I anticipated were great. I loved them. Um, but because I don't have probably what you would consider a traditional TBR, I don't, you know, have I don't have an anticipation for anything upcoming. I'm just hoping, like I said earlier, that the books are as good or better than the ones that I read at the beginning of the year. Number five, the biggest disappointment of the year. The biggest disappointment of the year for me was Legendborn by Tracy Dion. And for all of those who loved Legendborn, don't come at me. I'm not saying that it was a disappointment because I read it and I didn't like it. I was disappointed because I tried to read it and I could not get into it. I literally tried to read this book 4 times. I even enlisted my teenage child to read it with me, and it was a no go. So I'm disappointed that I was not able to read it. I am waiting for some book to unlock the fantasy part of my brain. It just has not happened yet. Number six, what is the biggest surprise of this year? My biggest surprise was at how much I enjoyed Restore Me by J.L. Seegers. So I am a urban romance girly. I love urban romance. Contemporary romance or romance where there isn't like mess and drama and pow pow and um, baby mamas and all that kind of stuff just really don't too much interest me. Every once in a while, there's one like Kennedy's Ryan, can't get enough. With Restore Me, I kind of figured that there weren't going to be any of my usual drama that I like in this book, but I wanted to read it because it was a new author for me. And I read it and I was super surprised at how much I enjoyed the book. To me, it was really good. I truly enjoyed it and it surprised me because none of my usual junk was in there. Number seven, my favorite new author. So, my favorite new author is Antoinette Sherrill, Evelyn Latrice, and Mal Dahl. I have been going through Mal Dahl's catalog, and oh my God, like I have not read one that even, I mean, I have not read one that was not a hit yet. And I have read several. I haven't come across any that are like 300 pages or anything like that. So I can read one of her books in one sitting. And all of them so far have been awesome. I am falling in love. This is is somebody that I am truly enjoying. Also, Antoinette Sherrill is the author of The Art of Hood Love, so I had to put her in there. And then Evelyn Latrice is the author of A Shooter Song, which I enjoyed so much. And yeah, those are my three. I have read a lot of new authors here lately, but those are the three that I'm going to choose and say are in my favorites right now. Number eight, my new fictional crush. My new fictional crush is Shabu. Now, if you've read The Heart of Hood Love, then you know why. This guy is everything. He will protect you. He's going to love you. He's going to educate you. He's going to elevate you. I love this guy. And Savvy better watch out because, yeah, I don't know if I want to share this one. Mhm. Number 10, a book that made me cry. So I didn't cry, but it definitely touched my heart. And that is Untethered by Angela Jackson Brown or Angela Brown Jackson. This book was so good. It was about a woman who was a director of a boys' home, and she spent a lot of her personal time taking care of these boys. and she had these two particular boys that she was very close to, and there was a issue with one of the boys possibly being sent home who didn't want to go home. And then there was another part in the book about a potential romance that would kind of make her have to decide between the boys and this guy. It was a really, really good story. I enjoyed it so much. I tried to go back into her catalog, Angela Jackson Brown's catalog, and um, yeah, I wasn't quite able to do that, but this particular book was really good. I did not cry, but it definitely touched my heart. And then number 11, a book that made me happy. And that is What the Fireflies Knew. This book was so good. It is by Tracy Rose Payton. It is a book about two little girls who go to their grandfather to visit their grandfather for the summer. So they don't know where they're going. They don't know their grandfather. They don't know how long they're going to be there. All they know is their mom took them there. She left, and she'll be back at some point. The two girls are fairly young. One is probably like a preteen. I want to say maybe 12, 13, maybe even 14. I don't really remember how old the girls were, but they were kind of young. And then the other one is like maybe a year or two younger. And they go from the city to like a rural country where their grandfather lives, and the preteen girl winds up she's starting to get into that era where she is interested in boys and going out and having a good time, and the other one is kind of left at home to her own devices, and so they start to uh, kind of grow apart. And also, there is an issue that happened before they went to go stay with their grandfather that is causing a little tension between the girls. And there's also tension between the mother and her father, which is the girl's grandfather. And so all of these things are happening. But what I loved about it is that throughout the book, um, it comes to a point where they are able to mend some hurts and love each other, and possibly even the father and daughter relationship has a potential to be restored. And so it's just a really sweet book, and it's one of those books that made me smile. It broke my heart, and then it put it back together again. And then number 12, what is the most beautiful book uh, I've bought this year? So that would be Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson. When I first bought the book, I thought the cover was pretty because of the colors. But it wasn't until after I read the book and looked at the cover again, it then kind of seemed to look different. I was able to see things based on what I read and make that cover make sense. It is just really a beautiful cover, especially after you've read the book. The cover just opens up. It's like it unlocks some new doors that you didn't know was there. I enjoyed the book as well as I thought that cover was beautiful. Number 13, books I need to read by the end of the year. So I don't have what you consider a traditional TBR. My TBR is a notepad that I might write a couple books on, back of an envelope where I'm somewhere and I find a book, or come across a book that I think is interesting. I don't have a real live TBR because I am truly a mood reader. I can only read what I'm in the mood for, no matter how much I think I want to read a book. If I try and read it, it won't work. And so I don't really have any books that I need to read, but I can tell you that at some point I do want to read The Nightcrawler or Night Crawling by Layla Motley. I want to read King of the Ashes by S.A. Cosby. The Manual for Good Wives. Um, what else? There's a few books that I want to read, but they are not anything that I feel like I have to read by the end of the year. It's just some things that I want to read. I don't force myself to read anything. I'm not gonna make a list of things. I make lists of books I want to read for fun, but not because I'm actually gonna stick to the list. And then number 14, are there any books I need to mention? Um, any books I need to mention? No, not really. I think that um, between my book review videos and the videos that I make, I think that they all kind of speak for themselves. And as time goes by, of course, I'll be making more reviews. And I think that that is how I express books that I want to mention. So I have been truly enjoying watching the freak out tags. And one of the freak out tags that I watched was from a YouTuber. Her name was Jordan's Bookshelf. I enjoyed her video, but not only did I enjoy her video, I feel like it encouraged me to make this book tag because initially I was not going to do it. So she was like, if you're a YouTuber and you're watching this video, you should make the freak out tag. And I want to say the exact same thing. If you're a YouTuber and you're thinking about making, go ahead and make that video. I loved it. I have been enjoying this freak out tag. I've seen so many videos and I'm truly enjoying it. So just wanted to say that. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all of the YouTube things. Until next time, see you soon.